All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Hope y'all are having a good day so far. So this video from Get Like Coop popped up on my feed and immediately stirred my interest. It's titled, "This is an Ugly End for Russell Westbrook." And I know what happened in LA was bad, you know, when he was a Laker, but I have seen him ever since then. And, you know, and especially watching him in Denver, and this guy contributes with a lot of energy, man. And I don't know if I'm becoming one of the only ones, but I still think, you know, at a low pay rate, this guy can help out any team. But he can't be the guy anymore, you know, not the star of the team. But it seems like his ego is in check, and he's totally cool with just supporting, you know, just being part of a team system, you know, trying to win a championship. So I got to tell you the truth. I loved him in Denver up until the final round of the playoffs. I don't know what happened to Russ at that point. He kind of fell apart. But up until that point, I thought he was contributing hella good. Hella good. It seemed like all the Denver Nuggets themselves loved him, loved the effort he was putting in, loved the energy. So this title has me a little interested because I don't know what happened to him. I'm assuming he didn't re-sign with Denver. So I don't know where the heck he's going or what's about to happen. And Get Like Coop is not a clickbaiter, so I'm interested to see what this is. Anyways, you guys, I'm going to link the original video for Get Like Coop down below in the description. So if you want to check out his channel, which I highly recommend, the link is down there in the description for you. Also, you'll see a list of channel members. Shout out to new channel member Sean Price. Thank you for coming on board. I appreciate the support a lot. Larry O'Brien trophy is going to look great next to your name. Actually, I see it right now. It looks awesome. Guys, shout out to members. Like the vid, I'd appreciate it. That helps out a lot too. And without further ado, I got to see what's going on. So let's do this.
The minute that Russell Westbrook stepped into the crypto arena, formerly known and much better known as the Staples Center, it felt like the wheels instantly fell off of him and started rolling in 4 different directions. Watching a living legend like Russell Westbrook, the guy who made the modern triple-double-A routine, get relentlessly dragged for struggling in a situation that was doomed from the start, was tough to watch.
It was. Don't put this guy on the wing and make him just shoot threes, man. Worst move ever.
There were entire segments dedicated solely to tearing him down.
Which brings us once again, it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for our...
You see that this is so uncomfortable. Like, LeBron is not even making eye contact here.
Tough to watch. There were entire segments dedicated solely to tearing him down.
Which is so funny to me because I know from hearing from Magic Johnson said it very clear. He had a whole different plan for the team, but LeBron demanded Russell Westbrook. Like, I always assumed it was LeBron, but hearing it from Magic's mouth, and then Magic basically saying these are some of the things that led to him basically resigning and stepping away from the Lakers was because of this. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But, like, dude, you picked him. You chose him for this task, to just stick him on a wing and become a three-point shooter while you play ISO at the top of the key. This was your job. You did this.
Which brings us once again, it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for our almost daily Russell Westbrook turnover blooper reel, the TBR. Once again, can we see it? This is 9 turnover. Russ, think about it. Now, come on, Russ, have a plan.
Got up in the air.
Yeah, got to have a plan.
Watch this one.
What? Russ.
Oh, this one. Check this one out right here, Skip.
What, Russ? Oops.
Skip, I mean, this Russ, is Keystone Cop.
Think about it.
Skip.
God.
Oh, man.
If you're playing high school basketball, you are benched. You're benched. Russ, you just got to hang on to the basketball. Got to protect.
Yeah, this was a dark time. This was a dark time in his career.
Charge.
Even if Skip had a point, who was he to constantly disrespect Russ by saying that high school players would get benched for committing the kind of atrocious turnovers that Russ was committing?
He's not that now, Skip. He's not.
Well, you're stuck with Russell Westbrook.
We are, Skip. Yep. What you want me to do about that?
Skip was relentless. When's the last time that you saw a former MVP get dragged as hard as Russ did in Los Angeles?
I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't think I've ever seen another situation like that.
The media ate him alive. And with his poor play and delusion, everyone was getting in on the action.
Positions and how we played and where I was at on the floor, wasn't really able to do some of the things that I was able to do. Even last year, like obviously I'm coming off of averaging a triple-double, so anything less than that would not be a good season for me, in my eyes, you know what I'm saying? So that's why the scale of how it comes from is a little different.
The Lakers were out there wanting winning basketball, and Russ was out there wanting triple doubles.
And the final thing I can say about what happened out there is that Russell has recently come out and said he has not talked to LeBron ever since all this.
I may be biased, but I don't think there's anything cooler in the basketball game to get a triple-double. Like I said, I may be biased though, but that's just me.
I mean, I'll disagree with you there. Winning is the most important thing, buddy.
Brody still had his ride or dies. Fans who would proudly charge headfirst into social media comment wars just to defend their guy. But for most NBA followers, Westbrook's legacy got twisted into nothing more than a meme or a quick laugh. As for Westbrook, before we dive into that, if you're enjoying this video, take a second right now to hit that like
Already
button,
done, man.
subscribe, and turn on those notifications. It might seem small, but every click helps keep this channel alive and growing. Westbrook definitely had his struggles with the Lakers, but more than anything, he became an easy scapegoat on a roster that frankly just wasn't very good. After hitting rock bottom as a Laker, Russ started trending upward, showing flashes of his prime Houston and OKC self as a Clipper, including that vintage 37-point performance against the so-called super team Suns.
I mean, I like to call out the leadership. It's bad leadership in LA on that floor, you know, because once he left there, all of a sudden Westbrook was being used properly again, and he was actually contributing to his teams. He's played for two teams since he played for the Lakers. So I want to compare the leadership between a guy like Jokic and LeBron James, because Westbrook tried to fit in a LeBron system, and they just shoved him on the wing, made him a scapegoat. He plays for Jokic, and they found every possible use you can get out of Westbrook, especially because he was a six man for most of the season. They used him very, very well. So I like to look at the leadership.
At a time where injuries had forced him to carry the load again, then came his recent stint with Denver, where he often looked like the third best player alongside Nikola Jokic, after Jokic himself personally rolled out the red carpet to recruit him. Playing for pennies compared to his Lakers salary, Russ's Denver run raised a curious question. If he truly looked that good, was personally courted by the league's best player, and his contract was no longer a burden, why, similar to Ben Simmons, did Russ's free agency drag on deep into the summer?
Declines player option. Oh, he declined it. Why won't you stay in Denver? Interesting. I thought he'd want to stay.
After he declined his player option. By the way, make sure to check out that Ben Simmons video after this one. Trust me, it's one that you won't want to miss. Okay. The reality is,
that's my favorite player.
Stint in Denver last season wasn't nearly as seamless as the highlights of it might suggest. Multiple reports say that the Nuggets moved on from head coach Mike Malone and general manager Calvin Booth, partly due to ongoing tension between the two. And one of their biggest points of contention reportedly centered around Russell Westbrook.
Interesting.
Within the
I was always wondering what happened to Coach Malone.
Organization, many believe that Malone was giving preferential treatment to the OKC legend, advocating for Westbrook even at the expense of second-year guard Jalen Pickett's playing time. Malone's choice to continue supporting Westbrook despite the frustration that he was causing on and off the floor led to a loss of credibility among the team's key players. It was one thing when Malone handled Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray with more leniency than the rest of the group, but affording Westbrook that sort of treatment, even with his Hall of Fame credentials, wasn't received well by some.
Okay, I'm glad he clarified that. So it wasn't that there was tension between Russ and Coach Malone. It was the opposite. They were having a honeymoon basically, and everybody else was getting mad about it. This is not how I expected things to go.
Reportedly, Calvin Booth was dismayed at how much loyalty that Michael Malone was giving to Russell Westbrook. In the NBA, star players often get away with things that others can't. It's practically built into the league's DNA. But the teams that truly build great cultures are the ones where everyone, no matter their star, is held equally accountable. That kind of fairness stops resentment from building up and makes sure that no player feels like there's a double standard in the locker room. But at this stage of his career, Russell Westbrook wasn't even a star. What kind of message does it send to your team, especially the young players on it, if you're giving special treatment to a role player that you're refusing to give to everyone else? Do you guys think that Westbrook's legendary status and the impact that he had on this Nuggets team should have earned him more opportunities than other players? I've personally experienced playing for a coach who favored certain players like that, and as someone who tends to overthink literally everything, it destroyed my confidence. The wildest part is, I genuinely believe that same coach would have liked me better if I'd just trusted my instincts and played my own game, instead of constantly worrying about their strict directions. I guess the dilemma with Westbrook was that he's the kind of player whose game runs on pure confidence.
Answer Coop's question, yeah, I've been on teams like that. Obviously, I think we all have. Hell, I've even been on teams where the coach's son is on a team. Talk about preferential treatment. Actually, I've been on a team where the coach's son is on a team and he's actually the worst by far. Like, it does not belong on a team whatsoever. Would never have made the team if it wasn't for being the coach's son. I don't know. We made it work though. You know what I mean? Like, we all knew our place. In practice, we all knew our place. We weren't putting up with any crap from, coach's son at that point. We just had to sit there and stomach it whenever he'd put him into the lineup or whatever. And it's like, all right. But, I don't know. I don't have like a huge like jealousy thing or whatever with preferential treatment, especially in a situation like that, because I expect it. I just go out there and hoop, That's it. I want to get treated good. I just go out there and be the best player. And if I can be the best player, I sure as hell will get treated at least decently.
Not willing to buy into him, or as he's always said, let Russ be Russ, then you're never going to get his best performances. And for a Nugget squad that was desperate to contend, getting the peak version of Westbrook was sort of non-negotiable if they wanted a real shot at contending. It's honestly amazing how polarizing that Westbrook remains, even now late into his career. Remember, a big reason that Darvin Ham landed the Lakers coaching gig was his bold plan to revitalize Russ, to transform him back into his best self, seamlessly fitting into a Spurs-style free-flowing offense with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. While the frustration over Westbrook's special treatment from management was definitely understandable,
the irony of that whole situation was Russ did not need to return to form at that point. He was coming to the Lakers pretty much averaging a triple-double, right? In the season prior. So, yeah, no, Russ was fine. They just needed to figure out how to use him properly, utilize him on the team properly. It was after he left the Lakers that, we needed to... Russ left with shattered confidence, So Russ had to rebuild after the Lakers, not before the Lakers, and not during the Lakers. With the Lakers is when, it all went to hell.
It was still surprising to see how strong the anti-Westbrook agenda remained among the media and fans. Even last season, when he was just a role player on a minimum contract, we had reputable accounts posting stats without context to push agendas, like highlighting how the Nuggets were 7-0 without Russ at one point last season.
Whatever, on a minimum contract, I'll take Russ right now. Any day of the week, I'll take him for that low pay. Hell yeah. What I really want to know, and I hope we get to this point in this video, is why did Russ not resign? Like, why? What happened? Okay, is it because they got rid of Coach Malone? Is that the reason why? Was he getting preferential treatment and now he's no longer getting preferential treatment with Coach Adelman? That's what I want to know.
Season, conveniently leaving out that most of those wins came against lottery-bound teams. Then there was this wild mid-series report from ESPN's Ramona Shelburne that blew my mind. Minutes after the Nuggets lost Game 2 of their first round series against the Clippers, Adelman had a problem. While he'd been at the post-game lectern, there'd been a heated discussion between Westbrook and Gordon in the locker room, multiple sources told ESPN. Gordon had challenged Westbrook about his attitude. Outside the locker room, one player relayed why Gordon might have done so. "He's so immature," he said of Russell Westbrook.
Uh-oh.
That sounds awfully hypocritical. This reminded me of that infamous Westbrook is a vampire story from a random source.
Yeah.
Not because Gordon stepped up and addressed Russ's attitude, but because the reporting made it seem like it was much worse than it was.
Okay, I'm going to be completely honest, too. This is the thing that's been in the back of my mind for his entire career, is that he might be a poison in a locker room. The thing is, we don't really hear anybody talking about it, but like I've always had that suspicion ever since like KD left, you know. But then again, KD's not a very reliable source, so it's hard to know. But I don't know. That's always been my assumption, and that's all I can think of now is maybe secretly, even though everyone was like singing his praises, you know, after the games, like the whole audience is like cheering on, you know, clapping for Westbrook and yada yada. Something's going on in the locker room, and I think there always has been with him, but we don't get to see that footage, so I don't really know, man. I just don't know.
Knowing Gordon, I'd imagine it was probably closer to a pep talk, especially considering that he's the same guy who once said this.
Same thing with Russ. I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer too. So doing whatever I can to try and get him a ring, you know, and just holding up my end of the bargain. So at the end of the day, these guys win too. And I think that's what really inspires me.
And
I really like Aaron Gordon too.
Player anonymously calling Russ immature, and the timing of it right in the middle of his struggles, that was just the cherry on top. Westbrook's homecoming series against OKC was undeniably rough, a disappointing end to what had otherwise been one of his stronger seasons in recent years. He averaged 13.3 points, 4.9 rebounds, and 6.1 assists, shooting 44.9% from the field and 32.3% from three. Even with that frustrating finish, the Nuggets got everything that they could have hoped for and a whole lot more from a player on a veteran minimum deal. Still, Westbrook had a few head-scratching moments that made you wonder exactly how strong Malone's allegiance to Russ was. Moments that looked a little something like this.
Gordon is there, and he threw it away. It's a turnover. 2-on-1. Brown, Westbrook. No.
I mean, oh wait, let me see the whole play again. Who stole the ball?
Gordon is there, and he threw it away.
I mean, it's a wash at that point. The opportunity for the layup wouldn't have come without Russ stealing that ball. But yeah, he blew that layup big time.
It's a turnover. 2-on-1.
So, I mean, I don't know if they won or lost this game, but Denver's up by 1 point. There's 12 seconds left in overtime. Oh, I see what this is. Why the hell is he going for a layup? He should have burned the clock out.
Brown, Westbrook, no!
Yeah, it didn't look good.
Drives, feeds, bullets. They got a foul.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Who fouled him?
Even as someone who has been a decent defender of Russell Westbrook,
Okay, we got to share the responsibility with whoever fouled that three.
Some of his silly antics in the past.
Yeah, this is just stupid.
This was one of those moments that made me wonder, what if the haters were right? But despite those missteps and all the behind-the-scenes drama, it's tough to think of many, if any, better bargain contracts in the NBA right now than Westbrook's last season.
Okay, one more thing I want to say about Russ is I don't believe striving to average a triple-double is a good thing. That's not a healthy mindset. I don't like it whatsoever. You should strive to contribute in any way that leads to winning the game. That means you might have to score more points today. I might have to get more rebounds today. I might have to zone in on defense a little more today and a little less energy on offense. Whatever you got to do to win. I might have to be a facilitator today. Whatever it is, that's more of a winning mindset. And hearing him talk about like how cool it is to get a triple-double, I don't like that at all. I much prefer guys like, say, Jokic, same team. If he gets a triple-double, he has no idea it's happening until after the game. He's just out there trying to do whatever it takes to win the damn game. So sometimes he scores heavy, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he'll get 15 assists, sometimes he'll get 5. Whatever it takes, and he just ends up with a lot of natural triple-doubles. I like that a lot more. I have questioned, at least since he left OKC, if Russ really has that winning mindset, or if he is selfish when it comes to wanting to accumulate stats.
Another possible reason for Westbrook's free agency slide is kind of depressing. According to Jake L. Fisher, the market for Russell Westbrook might have been stalled by Ben Simmons taking forever with his decision. Think about that. We're at the point of his career where one minimum contract point guard has held up the market for another. Russ will be 37 in November. But we are still talking about a guy who has had their free agency dragged deep into the offseason, possibly because of a guy who struggled even more than Russ did last year and is barely hanging on to his own NBA career. Just take a glance at Ben Simmons' first-round playoff stats from this year.
I didn't even see him in there. I was looking for him, and I never saw him. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, 2024. Here we go. Minutes played. Oh, well. That's why I didn't see Ben Simmons in the playoffs this year. He played 8.4 minutes. Wow. How many field goals did you make, bro? Field goals made? Oh, that's average, 0.4. Okay, so he averaged 8.4. Duh, it's a decimal. And he averaged 0.8 points a game. Cool, man.
And stack
See, these two have the exact opposite problems. Ben Simmons doesn't care enough. Russell cares a lot, but I think Russ might care about the wrong things.
Against Russell Westbrook's, and then you tell me who should have been holding up whose free agency.
No kidding.
The longest stretch that Westbrook has had with any team since leaving OKC was his 130-game run with the Lakers, and they couldn't wait to get rid of him. That's just not how things are supposed to play out for a legend like Russ. The main team linked to Russell Westbrook for most of the summer has been the Sacramento Kings, and while there's reportedly plenty of mutual interest, nothing solid would be concrete through the first few months. The thought of Westbrook in a Kings jersey just doesn't sit right with me. Sacramento could be
a shout out to my buddy Kings out there if you're watching this one.
Spot for letting Russ be Russ, even considering their credit guard rotation, which probably means another move is coming, but it still feels wrong. In my recent Ben Simmons video that I've been talking so much about, I talked about Josh Smith in a Pelicans jersey, Paul Gasol with the Blazers, Shaq wearing Celtics green.
That was funny.
And Melo as a Laker.
Yeah, that was
seeing
underutilized.
Russ suit up for Sacramento would feel exactly like that. Although I'm not opposed to see him go somewhere where they let Russ be Russ, as I'm sure peace of mind and feeling valued is something that Russ is searching for more than anything at this stage of his career. Then again, Russ is about to be 37, so Russ might just have to be Russ in his own role. And if peace of mind is really the goal, then what could possibly beat a homecoming to OKC? The reigning champions and the city where he built his legacy. Imagine Russ mentoring Topic, who I'll be covering in depth soon on a good Thunder squad already stacked with talent and primed to contend year after year. Good luck trying to pin anything on Russ when OKC is coasting towards 70 wins.
Well, yeah, but I disagree with that one with Coop, because they got a championship team. They just won the ring. Why risk shaking it up with somebody who has a reputation of possibly being toxic in the locker room, you know? And I hate to say it because, like I say, I am a fan of Russ, but it is taking a risk right now. And like, if you needed one more player to get over the hump and win a championship, I see that as a good opportunity to bring Russ in. That extra bit burst of energy, it might save you in the finals. But if you're already doing it without him, I don't see a reason why you would take that risk and bring him on board in the team. I just don't. I just want to know why he's not going to be in Denver, because he's not going to. He got embraced so well by the fans there. The fans loved him. Like, if you're looking for validation, you had it. You had it. That was how I was hoping he was going to go out, was a couple of years in Denver.
60-plus wins and a potential championship. That sounds like peace of mind to me. If Damian Lillard can make a league-breaking return to the Portland Trail Blazers, and Chris Paul can reunite with the Los Angeles Clippers.
But once again, neither of these teams are winning championships.
After all these years, then who's to say that Russell Westbrook can't eventually find his way back home to the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Yeah, okay, I could see it if they lose next year, and then, you know, at that point, it might make sense. But it doesn't make sense right now to me.
Franchise he defined, the city he embraced, and the team where his legacy was built. In the comments, leave what you think is next for Russell Westbrook. Tell me where you think that Russ will land, or even better, where you hope that he suits up before he retires. Does he still have some vintage Brody left, or is it finally time to ride off into the sunset? Give me your takes in the comments below. Anyways, there's some more going on in the basketball universe that we have to be covering. So clicking one of the videos that's on the screen right now is a great way to support this channel. I'm Get Like Coop, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.
Alright guys, that's gonna do it. I guess bottom line here is, okay, if I'm to take him at his word, Russ has been talking nothing but contributing to winning a championship all last season, right? If that's really the goal, I don't know why he's leaving. That's my bottom line. Where should he go? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work out any better than it already was in Denver, you know? So I guess if he's not going back to Denver, I have no idea where he's going to go. I guess maybe the Kings, because there's some negotiation going on. I assume the only reason he wanted out of that contract was because he wants to get paid more money than that, and I can understand that. But he's also gotten paid a ton of money in his career, so that's why I'm saying if I take him at his word that all he wants to do is contribute for a championship, that's all that matters now, he's done everything else, then why is he leaving a potential championship situation with Jokic as the star? You know, like, that's where you'd want to be, you would think. And the fans who've totally embraced you. Like, why leave? So I am starting not to trust that anymore, because he would continue to play for the veteran minimum if he really just wanted to win. Now, if he doesn't care about winning, but he cares about getting paid one last big paycheck, then he can go anywhere that's going to pay him the most. And I hate to say it, but I'm starting to think that's what he might choose. And if he does, he does. That's the end of it, you know? You can just go get paid for a couple more years and then, yeah, drive off into the sunset, but he's not going to be a champion. So it all just depends on his priorities. I don't know the guy, obviously, so I don't know what's really going on in his head, what he really cares about at this point. But anyways, you guys, I'm going to head out. Let me know what you think about it. I'm sure it's going to be a wild comment section because, like Coop said, Russ is very, very polarized right now. So anytime I ever talk about Russ, I see like great praising comments on him, and then I see like people who just completely obliterate him in the comments. So, you know, it'll be an interesting comment section, but I'll see you all in there. All right, guys, like the vid, subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this, and most importantly is the be water, my friends.